The third and final day of the Volkov family vacation in Granite Falls has finally arrived, and Alexis, out of everyone in the house, was probably the most devastated one to see the day come. Nicole and Caleb Vitor were wide awake, playing ping pong downstairs, and as Edward enjoyed his hamburger outside, his daughter Nina was caught up in something. Man, I thought we were finally going to have some peace. Oh no, not the first child of Generation 3 catching on fire. Nicole, I cannot believe you're just standing there as your niece burns to death. I guess she's tired of putting out the fires, LMAO. And after was when I noticed. So what you're saying is that MC Command Center lied to me, and Edward actually did knock up Hillary 2 episodes ago. Well, Autumn, now we know exactly where all of the fertility genes went. I'm actually so upset that Hillary Volkov is pregnant again. We are never renovating that damn house, are we? As a fellow older sister, I am so sorry, Nina. And Lee Silversweater, the sim that woohooed with Ezra to get closer to Edward, is back and still chasing this married man. I wonder what it's like to be this delulu. Alexis felt it all over. She was thoroughly convinced that today was the day she would be going to sleep forever. The day she'd finally be seeing Jacob Volkov, Candy Goth, and Tai Lum again. She accepted it. It was a beautiful day to die. The sun was shining bright. The ducks were relaxing in the pool. Her family was all around her. They were happy. They were in love. They had successful careers and hobbies. They held close to their hearts. They made memories on this trip that they would hold onto forever, just like how she'll keep hers of them when she closes her eyes. Or Autumn and Shanna gained the close family dynamic after Shanna rubbed on Autumn's tummy, and Alexis is on fire. Girl, I know you're dying today, but not like this, please. If you girls think this was scary, just wait until nightfall. Well, there goes today being the perfect day to die. But Alexis wasn't going to let that disrupt her peace. She licked herself clean, probably the last time she would be using any werewolf powers of hers, before walking over to the waterfall nearby to have some time alone with herself, to reminisce, to wonder about what waits for her in the afterlife if she was damned to hell for all the terrible things she did in her youth. She watched the clouds as she made a mental list of every single great thing she achieved in her life, leaving her childhood behind, the childhood she didn't like to think about, fighting Chris, ultimately leading up to the two of them falling in love, having the twins, even if she wasn't fully ready for it, courageously handling 3 water births and not needing an epidural, buying a house to pass down to her family, helping Ezra find forgiveness, helping Autumn through her addiction, helping Nicole find happiness, supporting Edward's and Hilary's teen pregnancy. She shouldn't have murdered Clint's family, but he turned out to be a great young man. And she was sure Rapture would turn out to be an astonishing young woman. She became a werewolf and protected her family from burglars and serial killers. She opened her heart to the beauty of Moonwood Mill, but she did have some regrets. They say you're not supposed to think about your regrets on your deathbed, but she couldn't help but have a few, leading Wolfgang Wilder on murdering all of Bjorn's family, not trying to help mend Christopher's relationship with his daughter Rory Oklo, giving up so quick when it came to having a career, not adopting a cat like Nicole wanted, not taking roof repair to Sewanee like she would have wanted. She wasn't the perfect parent, nor partner, nor sim, clearly, but she tried her best, and there's no way she could ever regret that. She taught her children everything that she thought was important for them to know, and now it's time for them to do the same to their children, and she was positive that they would have no problem achieving that. Sage is in disbelief. He did not know old people get down like that. While Alexis pondered, Autumn completed one of her aspirations milestones, and Clint bonded with Sage before getting approached by one of his fans for the first time ever. Dexter once returned to Sender to celebrate his promotion with him. Out of all sims, why her? Wait a damn minute. Why is she and her man Zayden fighting? What did I miss? She gained a jealous trait and a fear of commitment. Whoa, who did Zayden flirt with? Ezra and Caleb were just minding their business, having some brother-in-law bonding time. Edward was bonding with Micah as Autumn reached her 3rd trimester and went to her doctor's appointment. This was around the same time she miscarried River. She got the same warning as she did with her 2nd trimester appointment, and though she was anxious, she had high hopes, all thanks to Shanna reassuring her. What the hell? Why is Refreshment crying? Because Zayden is flirting with her brother Ezra in front of her. Oh my actual god. Let's slowly back away from that hot mess and see what Alexis and Nina are up to. Nina seemed bored and upset from lighting herself on fire earlier, just like Alexis had. So they headed up into the treehouse to vent about it to each other. Meanwhile, Autumn was feeling ballsy and decided to go with the option of a water birth like her mother had. If a complication arises during it, she'll then opt for a C-section, but only if necessary. After making the arrangements with her obstetrician, she headed over to the treehouse to join her mother and her niece. Oh, because that makes sense. And Hilary's pregnant us is up here too. Autumn couldn't help but share the excitement about reaching her 3rd trimester, as well as her excitement for Nina's new brother or sister. She felt so blessed as Alexis and Nina felt her baby bump. She was starting to feel so much more confident and excited that the baby would be here any moment now. 2 kids is perfect. Her little family would finally be complete. This he looking ass sim couldn't have contacted Roman Polanski at a better time. We'll keep him in mind. Alexis couldn't help but tell her daughter how beautiful she looked pregnant. She was glowing. She was blessed to be Autumn's mother and was proud that she gave pregnancy another go. As happy as she was to see Autumn's tummy, she also felt despair. She wasn't going to meet these children, and she knew it, but she wasn't going to tell Autumn that. Instead, she let Autumn talk about her excitement for Alexis to meet her next grandchild, for Alexis to watch them grow up just like she did with Sage. It all sounded so lovely, but she was just happy she was able to meet Sage in the first place, along with Nina and Micah. They were wonderful kids bound to do wonderful things, all thanks to the beautiful Sims raising them. Alexis gave Autumn the last bits of motherly advice she had to give her. She told Autumn that the babies were going to be so beautiful. Autumn was confused. She knew her mother was up there in age and her mind had been a bit foggy lately, so she reminded her that the ultrasound technician told her and Shanna that there was just one baby. Of course, Alexis said, of course. Not Nicole getting the attention of motherfucking Santa Claus. You're just a tad bit too late, Father Winter, which is tragic because I would have considered you. What the actual hell? Out of all times, Rory, now you decide to contact your dad. Okay, Addison Chopra, this is just getting sad. Inviting your ex's dad to your costume party. Really? Alexis wasn't done talking to her daughter about the baby. She wanted to hear all about Autumn's excitement, so they went for a dip in the pool, Caleb Vitor soon joining them. Though Alexis didn't know Caleb that well, what she did know was that Nicole had been the happiest she's ever been on this trip than she's been her entire life. Caleb is good for her, and no matter what occult he was, Alexis wanted to let him know that she completely approved of their relationship. What was there left to do? She'd said everything she needed to say to her kids, their spouses, and her grandkids. She gave Autumn the keepsake box. All that seemed to be left was her beloved Christopher. She didn't have to say anything to him. The love they shared did all the talking. They had a great love, and she was hoping that Chris would find it in his heart to move on once she's gone. As Alexis said goodbye to the sun, she got an idea about how to spend her last night alive by having a water balloon fight with her family. There was nothing better than spending time with her family, nothing. And as she looked at each one of them, she couldn't help but feel insanely proud of them herself. And Chris, all of their children are amazing in their own ways. They were going to be all right. They have each other, they have their memories, they have the keepsake box, and Clint has another fame level. He's now a level 2 celebrity, or a rising star, as well as superstar. Clint outshining her biological kids. Who could have thought? And as Alexis threw water balloons at her kids, Hillary noticed that Nina was missing. She was upstairs being a badass kid, while some random man was watching her. Hilary's mama bear instincts kicked in, and she didn't care that she was pregnant. I'd do the same thing. I love Hillary so much. And just as Alexis was about to tell her daughter-in-law how proud she was of her for protecting Nina, that's when she felt it.